This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 6th day of March in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Some sad news to begin with. An abusive relationship between a 26-year-old Hope East Coast Demerara woman and her common-law husband ended with the woman's death this morning, when she was brutally attacked by the man in front of her sister and stabbed to death. Housewife Aniza Ishmael was preparing to walk away from the relationship, with her sister assisting her, when the husband, Ricardo Ketau, attacked her. According to reports, the man had repeatedly accused the woman of being unfaithful to him, and the relationship was in a downward spiral. 3 days ago, the woman left the home to stay with a friend at Better Hope. This morning, she returned to the house she shared with her husband while in the company of her younger sister to pick up some of her belongings. While at the house, the young woman was confronted by the husband, who was a fisherman. The man asked her not to leave their home, but as she was continuing to gather her belongings, he pulled a knife from his waist and attacked her, according to a police report. He was pushed aside by the injured woman's younger sister, who encouraged her to run, but the man chased after her, and when he caught up with her, he started to stab her repeatedly to her body. The killer husband then turned his attention to the younger sister and attacked her, but she was able to fight him off, sustaining a wound to one of her arms in the process. The man, according to the police, then ingested a poisonous substance and started to stab himself to the body. Emergency services and the police were summoned. The woman and her attacker were both taken to the C.C. Nicholson Hospital, where the wife died while receiving emergency treatment. The husband was admitted for his injuries and is currently on the police guard. The dead woman's body has since been moved to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home here in Georgetown, where a post-mortem examination is to be carried out. Investigators have since recovered the murder weapon, a knife, as well as an empty bottle that contained the poisonous substance that the suspect ingested. Investigations are ongoing tonight. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
At Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Did you know that you can check your NIS contributions online? Simply visit our website at www.nis.org.gy. Click on the Create New Account button and enter the required information. An automatic email notification will be sent to acknowledge your application. Once your information is authenticated, you will receive an email within 48 hours with instructions on how to access the site. Once logged in, you can click on the My Contributions tab on the left side of the screen to view your contributions. For further information, you can call our Records Department on 225-2798 or visit your nearest NIS office.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to us.
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Let's tell you now that over $99 million was spent on legal fees for the Attorney General's chambers in 2019, according to the Auditor General's report for that year, which flagged some of the spending for outside legal assistance. The matter engaged the Public Accounts Committee today, and while defending the spending, Solicitor General Nigel Hawke told the Public Accounts Committee that it is a normal practice in Guyana and many other CARICOM and Commonwealth countries to solicit outside legal help for various cases that come before the Attorney General's chambers. The Auditor General, Deodat Sharma, in his 2019 report on the Public Accounts of Guyana, said $99.1 million was paid to retain 3 law firms and 7 external attorneys in 2019, although the chamber at the time had a Solicitor General, a Deputy Solicitor General, 2 Assistant Solicitor Generals, and 6 State Counsel. Grilled by Government Member of Parliament and Attorney at Law Sanjeev Jatudin on the chamber's decision to outsource the lawyers when it was adequately staffed, the Solicitor General, in a passionate defense, told the Public Accounts Committee that there was nothing abnormal about outsourcing and sole sourcing legal luminaries to represent the state in major cases.
These were specific matters requiring specialized expertise, as is the case even now. When in the chambers there are specialized expertise required, we take external counsel, and that is a practice and a policy of the state.
The Solicitor General, Nigel Hawke, was keen on noting that not all of the cases involved a no confidence motion. He said given the chamber's caseload, external assistance is often sought, particularly for major cases, adding that many of the attorneys attached to the AG chambers serving as state counsel are just out of law school and will therefore require guiding. He said major and technical cases cannot be handled by them.
It's a normal practice in Guyana. It's a normal practice in first world countries. It's a normal practice throughout the entire Commonwealth, Caribbean, and the Commonwealth. The state, if it desires to retain the best counsel to fight its case, it will do so as a matter of policy.
Pressed by opposition member of the committee Ganesh Mahipal for more answers, the Solicitor General told the Public Accounts Committee that the AG's report is unfair. He said while the report pinpoints the use of external lawyers, it fell short in acknowledging the volume of cases before the chamber at any given time.
When the report is put in a way, notwithstanding having 1 Solicitor General, 1 Deputy, 1 Assistant, it gives the impression as though the Solicitor General, the Deputy Solicitor General, and the other officers does nothing. Just want to make the point that on average at the chambers of the Attorney General, we get 10 cases per day. That's an average. You calculate that per week. That's 50 cases a week. You calculate that per month, that's 240 cases per month. Some ranging from very technical, some ranging from not so technical. If you go back to 2019, it was the Solicitor General, a Deputy Solicitor General, assistants, and 6 officers. Those 6 officers just out of law school. It's impossible, I'm telling you members of this committee, to manage chambers of the Attorney General with only 6 at a time, for whatever reason.
The Solicitor General made it clear that the issue has nothing to do with politics or whether it is the PP Civic or APNU in government. He told the PAC that the chamber is made up of a group of professionals who are prepared to work, and it is unfair for their work to be flagged without the details about the volume of work being reflected in the Auditor General's reports. In a message peppered with calls for unity, President Irfan Ali has again implored citizens to work together for the common good, the good of the country. But he said this must first start with self-introspection and looking at how you treat those around you. Addressing a PAGWA program at State House on Sunday evening, the president said those who are in a position to help should reach out to someone and offer a lending hand in the spirit of Holi.
This Holi, I want us to do it a bit different as a country. Because Holi is about the coming together of families and communities. It is about prosperity. It is about freshness, goodness, mercy. And I want us, before we engage on Tuesday in any activity, before we go to the mandirs, before we go on the streets to play holy, to spend a few moments and to look around our communities, to look around within our families, to look among our friends, and to see who among those requires some assistance, some help, something from you to allow them to enjoy Holy on Tuesday also.
President Ali said he has urged cabinet colleagues to reach out and give as much as they can, and he's also urged his colleagues in the political space to do the same.
Every parliamentarian in this country, and you do not need to give physically or financially. Give a bit more smile, give a bit more tolerance, give a bit more openness. And if we do this, I'm convinced that holies would continue to inspire us.
The president said citizens, regardless of religion or region of residence, need to live in harmony, to block out hatred and to contribute to the common good by coming together. Guyana observes the Hindu Spring Festival of Pagua on Tuesday. In the world of politics, opposition leader and leader of the People's National Congress Reform Aubrey Norton is convinced that the move to demolish his party's regional office in Latham last week was a political one, despite the statement from the vice president that the government had no role to play in the demolition. Mr. Norton, who was out of the country when the office was demolished, said he also believes the move is part of a government plan to stoke ethnic tensions between supporters of the PP Civic and the PNC reform. Speaking during his party's weekly Nation Watch television program, Norton said the issue is more than just the land and the building.
They own the PPP are seeking to increase the tensions in this society with the hope that there's going to be ethnic confrontation, and that as they lose some support from their own base, they are hoping that that will galvanize the Indo-Guyanese community towards them. You know, one of the realities...
The indigenous Guyanese community?
The indigenous, the Indo-Guyanese community, all of them. In this case, is the indigenous community.
And according to the opposition leader, the issue could have been dealt with differently. He confirmed that his party was written to by the REO regarding the property, and in response, his party made it clear that it has been occupying the property since the 1970s and remains the rightful owner. Mr. Norton said if the government believes that it was the rightful owner of the land, then it could have filed a court action to repossess the land.
Now, this government was in power 23 years before, and they never sought to take that building. But suddenly, they emerge and want to take the building. I know they are concerned about the political work we are doing in Region 9. I think it's an attempt to remove any signs of the APNU, AFC, PNC in Region 9.
The opposition leader also cited political vindictiveness as the reason for the demolishing of the party's regional office.
Now, I noted that he said that if the PNC wants land, they should apply for land. In that very statement, he's bringing out the political vindictiveness of the PPP. Because if you want a health center,
you have land.
You have land. Yeah. So it is not an issue of land.
The PNC has indicated that it intends to move to the court over the demolition of its political office in Region 9.
Sundress Soiree, Champagne and Cocktail Event, Saturday, April 8th at Everest Cricket Ground. Contribution $8,000. This is a day into night event. Doors open from 3 p.m. to 1 a.m. Free. Cocktail hour, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Sundress Soiree. You know the vibes.
A Berbice taxi driver and his passenger both lost their lives early on Sunday morning along the Quarantine Highway when the driver reportedly lost control of his car after hitting a dead cow that was on the roadway and crashed off that roadway, ending up in a trench. 2 other persons who were in the car survived the accident. The 2 persons who died were identified as driver Qualis Crawford and his passenger Shalisa London. The accident occurred at around 3 o'clock on Sunday morning. According to reports from the area, the 40-year-old driver and the woman who died, along with the other 2 persons, were all pulled from the wreckage by persons in the area. There have been repeated complaints about cattle and other animals on the roadways in the Berbice community especially. Drivers have also been cautioned to be extremely careful in that area while traversing the Quarantine Highway. The playful rocking of a paddle boat in Bonasika Creek in Region 1 has led to the suspected drowning of a 17-year-old boy. A police statement explained that at around 9 p.m. on Saturday, 24-year-old laborer Mark LaCruz, along with a 19-year-old farmer and a 17-year-old farmer, were paddling in their boat along the river after a night out at a bar. The 3 were on their way home and were suspected to all be intoxicated when the 2 teenagers started to rock the boat in a playful manner. The boat capsized and all 3 occupants were flung into the creek. The 24-year-old laborer and the 19-year-old farmer were able to swim to shore, but the 17-year-old never made it, according to the police report. A report of the incident was made to the police on Sunday morning, and searches began in the creek for the teen's body. There has been no new reports of it being recovered. An investigation is underway. In the courts now, owner of the Blue Iguana Club, Royston Peniston, was remanded to jail today after being charged with being in possession of a quantity of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. The 44-year-old man was arrested at his Festival City home on Friday by agents of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit. After a search of the property uncovered more than 5 pounds of cocaine stashed in the false sides of 2 suitcases, according to Kano. Kano believes the suitcases had been prepared for a possible cocaine shipment to the U.S. using someone else. In court today, Peniston entered a not guilty plea and was remanded to jail until the 3rd of April, when the case will continue. At the Diamond Magistrates Court, the 2 men who were arrested last Thursday in connection with the discovery of 13 pounds of cocaine in milk powder packets at the Chedijagan Airport appeared in court today, and they offered 2 different pleas to the presiding magistrate. 52-year-old Cranston Henry, who was held at the Chedijagan Airport with the cocaine-laden milk powder packages in a suitcase, pleaded guilty to the drug trafficking charges. He was sentenced to 4 years in jail for the crime and also fined $30,000. The other accused, Calypsonian and gospel singer Mark Ferdinand, pleaded not guilty to the cocaine trafficking charges. Ferdinand was remanded to jail until the 27th of March, when the case will come up again for hearing. According to a report from Kanu, Cranston Henry, who lives at Crane on the west coast of Demerara and who also has a Brooklyn, New York address, was an outgoing passenger destined for the U.S. when a search of his luggage unearthed a large quantity of cocaine. Kanu said the cocaine was found contained in 7 Milex branded milk powder packets. The man admitted to having knowledge of the prohibited substance during a video recorded interview. The Drug Enforcement Agency said the cocaine carries a street value of more than 13 million Guyana dollars. Based on the interview with the outgoing passenger, Kanu investigators visited the home of Calypsonian Mark Ferdinand and arrested him in connection with that same drug shipment. Ferdinand was deported from the U.S. a few years ago after serving jail time for drug trafficking there.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shopping comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyo's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, the Trinidad Express reported that as debate continues to rage about human trafficking and prostitution in Trinidad and Tobago, an official list of convicted sex offenders has been made public for the first time via an online sex offenders registry. Called the Trinidad and Tobago Public Sex Offenders website, the registry comes from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and currently contains the names, photographs, locations, and details of the offenses of 16 men convicted of sex crimes. The offenses include rape, grievous sexual assault, indecent assault, sexual touching, and sex with a female under 14 years of age. In Ecuador, a judge there has approved the prosecutor's request to charge former President Lenin Moreno with bribery over a contract for a Chinese-built hydroelectric plant in the South American nation. The indictment, which includes 37 people in all, links the former president to work on the Coca-Cola Sinclair hydroelectric project and states that the defendants received bribes of up to $76 million as part of a corruption scheme that operated between 2009 and 2018. Moreno, who served during that part of that period as vice president under the government of Rafael Correa, denied wrongdoing last month, saying that he had no responsibility in the contracting of the works of the complex. But after a hearing on Sunday, Moreno tweeted that some of the arguments put forward by the Attorney General's office were arbitrary and inhumane. Judge Adrian Rojos decided as a precautionary measure that Moreno must appear every 15 days before the National Court of Justice. And finally tonight, international news. The US and Mexico are searching for 4 Americans who were kidnapped in northeastern Mexico last week. The US citizens were driving through the area in a white minivan when a group of unidentified gunmen shot at them. They were then placed in a vehicle and taken away, the US government said. The US has not confirmed Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador's statement, saying that the Americans had crossed the border to buy medication. The missing Americans who were kidnapped on the 3rd of March have not been identified. The incident also resulted in the death of an innocent Mexican citizen, the US ambassador to Mexico said in a statement. Officials from various U.S. law enforcement agencies are working with their Mexican counterparts at all levels to achieve the safe return of the American citizens. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable Pagua.